really do. You're a 21-year-old punk fucking kid. Grandpa's given you everything all your fucking life. You've never had a car payment, a house payment. Everything you live in was given to you by Grandpa. You fucking don't know what it's like to work for a fucking living like I do, to bust my fucking ass and do what I do. And you know what, Sean? You fucked me, and that's the way you got it. But you know what? Your grandpa's money will run out someday, and you'll have to feast for yourself. Get a fucking job, you piece of shit.
Welcome to Behind the Smoke podcast. My name is Sean Walcha from Cali Comfort Barbecue. We are here in Spring Valley, East County, San Diego, recording above the butcher shop, above Valley Farm Market. Here with my man, Derek Marceau. What's happening?
Same old, man. Just
same old.
Another beautiful day in San Diego.
Don't bullshit me. Same old. I saw what I saw when I came in.
What's that?
What's that sexy big ass thing you have right when you walk into the back?
You know how fucking hard that thing was to put together? How fucking heavy that thing was? I got a big green egg. It's actually the double XL. It's 564 pounds. Working with green egg at the Del Mar, we were talking about, you know, we like to do reverse searing for our tri-tips and everything like that, and we used them there, and it worked out perfect. And I'm like, well, I want a big one, and like, well,
you wanted something big, shocking.
Right. They're like, well, we got the XL, and I'm like, well, do you have anything bigger than that? They're like, well, yeah, we actually, you know, have the double XL, and I'm like, well,
does it come with a lift gate for your
dude,
truck?
It honestly needs to.
You
it
can't,
needs to,
because we have the XL.
We're looking
takes
at
four men, large men, to get it onto the fucking truck.
Me and JC did it by ourselves last time.
The double XL?
No, the single. But yeah, that thing was crazy. We're actually gonna have to fabricate some wheels for it for pushing it through the parking lot. But we're actually gonna fire that motherfucker up today.
Where's it gonna be? Out at the shack?
Yeah, we're gonna put it out of the shack, and we're gonna build a dig some holes and be able to chain it up out there so that
that's rad.
Spring Valley natives don't
think it's a shopping cart.
Yeah, they don't try to take it or cook their own food on it or something like that. But
well, it'll be great to use for our cooking classes too.
Yeah, cooking classes. You know, we use them a lot. They're surprisingly very consistent. I wasn't a big fan of them when they first came out, and it was more just being kind of naive to what they did. And once I started using them, they were awesome. They put out a very consistent product, and you know, to smoke on them, probably I wouldn't say it would be the best thing to do, but we were able to, you know, just do the reverse sear, and they get nice and hot. And I think we use it at the was it Fox 5 or Channel 8 or who?
We did Channel 8 with Heather Myers for 4th of July, actually.
Yeah, that was the XL.
July. Yeah,
that was the XL. So
that was the first time we took it, and we got those kick-ass videos. Everything we talk about today will be in the show notes, so if there's somebody that you want to follow on Twitter or some link or something that we talk about, check out the show notes and be sure to follow it and take a look. That way you can follow along with the show. But we're fired up. Today is it's a new day. We're getting closer to Spring Valley, our annual amateur barbecue contest.
Yeah, I'm getting really excited about that, man. I'm really getting excited about it. I went to the smoker. I don't know. We have to name that smoker.
I know.
But went out to the smoker to kind of get a few parts for it, and was looking at it and getting excited to tow that thing down to Spring Valley and cook some good Q, do some tri-tip, sausages, just get after it, man. I think we can do a shit ton of meat on that.
Yeah, it's perfect because we made this contest so that amateur barbecue, backyard barbecue people could come out. They could try out what it's like to compete in a contest, to get pointers from people like Gene Goycochea, from yourself, from myself. And
have you talked to Gene?
I talked to Gene. Gene's doing great. He's asking for more work.
Of course. He's like, dude, I'm just sitting here with my laptop. You know, he just had open heart surgery, and he's like,
yeah, I'm
sitting here. I can still work. I'm like, let's just not put the cart before the horse and let you do your thing. And he's like, well, I'll get the parts for the smoker. And, you know, he's Gene. He's always wanting to do something.
Absolutely. And, one of the coolest things about this podcast is it's allowed us to talk to people that love barbecue, that love events, that love marketing, that they want to open up a business. They maybe are thinking about, you know, how do I move up in my business? All walks of life have been listening. One of the coolest things at Del Mar is we had some people that have been listening to the podcast that actually they found us. We're not easy to find at a barbecue festival, but they made a point to find us. And our weekly, I'm going to start a Twitter shout out, and this one's going to Brian Underwood. He actually went and found me talked to me, introduced himself, said I listened to the podcast. I'm thinking about signing up for Spring Valley. I said, you're signed up.
You're signed up now.
You're committed. And Brian Underwood, it's at B Wood. He came out, and that was really, really cool. He found you, took a photo with you, took a photo with
real nice kid,
took a
man.
photo with us.
Real nice kid.
Part of the thing that one of the themes we talk about in the podcast is getting involved. And you got to put yourself out there, and, don't be afraid to say hello, introduce yourself, get on Twitter, get on Facebook, get on Instagram, get on Snapchat. You got to build your brand, and that way people can follow you, follow your journey. And
it's about growth too. And I mean, if we can do things like that and talk to the people that are maybe a little nervous about getting into an event or doing a KCBS event because they are so intimidating, I think we're doing our job by growing the brand of barbecue, not just worrying about ourselves and our brand, just growing barbecue in general in California, because it's such a, people think Californians can't barbecue. And I got a few things to say about that.
Well, we appreciate that, and we're going to get those forms up so people can sign up, and that date is going to be November 5th. It's going to be right in front of the restaurant, Cali Comfort Barbecue, and teams that sign up, they're going to get the best meat, competition meat from Valley Farm Market, and we're going to raise some more money for organizations and training. So we're fired up for that, and today we are... This is probably one of the most unique podcasts that we've had to date, but it really gets to the heart of why we started this podcast, and that was to talk to other people who have the balls to get shit done and to try to follow their dream and to get out there and try to make things happen. And these two gentlemen, we are very, very fortunate to have them here. Brandon Haynie, Jermaine Haynie. Excuse me, Brandon Haynie and Jermaine Spotwood. These are both the people that started Primitive Smoke, and we're here to tell their story and to find out, what happened along the journey and where they're going next. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
So what's going on? Where are we at?
So basically, we started at Primitive Smoke Barbecue. We both went to culinary school. Myself went to Le Cordon Bleu. Jermaine Spotwood went to San Diego Culinary. We both worked at the Grand Del Mar Resort together. And being in San Diego...
So Grand Del Mar, that's high-end, fine dining.
Correct.
Yeah.
I come from Montana, he comes from Oklahoma, so we both had a Bachelor of Meat.
Sure.
We both were in San Diego. We worked at the Maya La Jolla, actually, which is no longer there. We both just thought the San Diego barbecue lacked very, very, very heavily. So we wanted to bring our own twist on barbecue. So we found this little spot on Garnet Avenue. It was only 433 square feet.
Jeez.
We had 3 indoor seats, 12 sidewalk seats.
Wow.
So this, give us a time frame. So this was last year, 2 years ago?
We tore the place down. It was a little Orbit donut shop.
That was my wife's favorite donut shop, by the way.
Really?
She was like, we would go there, and she just loved those little fucking powdered donuts.
Oh, that's
and she'd
so
be
funny.
like, she's like, where the fuck did the donut shop go? Barbecue. Got to make way. Got to make way for barbecue.
It was.
And mind you, this is like 3 years since we met.
Yeah.
Like when we started working together.
When did you get what? So that was what
2014 is when we met. But we had the business plan, we had the recipes.
2014, you guys met, but you met in the kitchen, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
We were both chefs. Yeah.
So you're both chefs, and you started hanging out afterwards.
Exactly.
Bullshitting, hanging out.
We both knew we wanted to do barbecue.
Mm-hmm.
We both knew we wanted to take over barbecue.
Mm-hmm.
We just didn't realize how hard California was.
Yeah. It's extremely, extremely hard, man. And sometimes what you think is good barbecue isn't what Californians think is good barbecue. So a lot of times people get, you want to push your recipes on people, but if it's too much for the Californian palate, they're going to resist it, man. And
people are used to fills.
Yeah, and I mean literally, we've done competitions when I was in Kansas, and did a bunch of different things, and the way I smoke for competitions is completely different how I smoke for my consumer, because they want it a little bit different. They might want it a little more sugar. They might not want so much smoke, or they want it a little bit more mild. And you really have to figure out your demographic. That's one of the biggest things that we had to fix, because it was like, man, this was phenomenal brisket, and people didn't want it.
Yeah.
Like, geez, man, how do I get past this? Oh, I added granulated sugar to it. I added a few other things, and all of a sudden now it's a really light smoke, and I'm wrapping, and I'm not letting it hit the direct smoke. And now people are like, "That's the best brisket I ever had," and I'm like, "Ooh, man, this is rough." You know, I'm fortunate though, where I have a grocery store, so that's where we make all of our money, and you know, the smoking's a passion, so we got to, you know, start doing it there. So it's not just the smoking that, you know, keeps my business going.
So
Yeah, that was
tell
definitely kind
us,
of against
like,
us.
was there a point in time where you met and you're like, we should do this together? I mean, how did that come about?
From the start.
From the start,
yeah. We both got along really well in the kitchen. We were both, you know, very hard workers. We were both very passionate. And we both had the passion barbecue. We both knew where we wanted to go. San Diego, you know, the barbecue scene was not great, but we were not going to lower our standards to San Diego barbecue, in quotes.
Sure.
So we, no matter how pricey we were, PB, we were going to keep our standards.
Was the plan always to go to PB?
No.
PB
was our last resort.
Talk about site selection.
It was North Park.
So it was North Park is where you wanted to go. Why is that?
Because North Park to me was more of like a neighborhood. It was a neighborhood in which, if you live in North Park, you can actually walk.
Yep.
You can walk and you can go out to eat, you can go out to drink. You don't have to worry about Ubering.
You get foot traffic.
Exactly. So I love that type of neighborhood to where a person wouldn't have to drive. And what we figured out about PB is people have to drive into PB.
Oh, yeah.
And most of the time, you're driving into PB to actually either drink or go to the beach.
Right.
Yep.
You're not necessarily worried about eating.
Yep.
You know, if you decide to eat this because you're there late.
It's convenient.
It's
Convenience,
convenient.
right? Yeah.
And there you're going to either hit up a taco shop or
Right.
Or Ichiban.
You're not going to spend
Exactly.
I've had 10
You're not
beers,
gonna
and I'm like,
really
dude, just
spend
give me
money.
some fucking roll tacos.
Exactly. But
Barbecue's
number
not cheap.
one was North Park.
Yeah.
You know, and it was like when we started like 3 years ago, it was like North Park is.
How were you looking for site locations? Did you have a broker or were you doing it online?
We had a
online
realtor.
and
You
we
did
had
have
a realtor.
Okay. So
Yeah.
the realtor was showing you spaces,
Correct.
Exactly.
giving you terms, lease terms,
Exactly.
trying to
Correct.
figure that all out.
But a lot of the places there, it was like a complete build out. It was like
Yeah.
you have to build it out and blah. But what we found out with the PB location,
It
like,
ended up
this is
being
like
a-
after the fact that it's hard to get a liquor license in PB.
It's hard to get a liquor license,
It's hard to get a
period.
liquor license,
But
period.
especially in PB.
Because there's
Sure.
so fucking many of them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what pretty much, that was like one of our little stumbling blocks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was
So
that
you
liquor
want to
license.
have beer, wine, and liquor.
Exactly.
I mean, we didn't even get into barbecue when we opened the restaurant. The only reason we opened was to have a sports bar with a full liquor license. The liquor license, the Type 47 license,
Yeah.
was the driving force for me and my business partner opening the doors.
It's a driving force for that fucking voicemail that's on the very beginning. That's what it's a driving force of.
Maybe so. So when you guys are out looking for locations, what did you guys have a budget that you came up with? I mean, was this something that, you know, as far as your business plan, like how much you needed to open the doors?
Well, we planned a lot less, obviously. We planned about $300,000 to open the doors.
300.
Did
to
you get
open?
TI money from the?
Nope.
Ooh,
And we planned about
You better call me next time.
$4,000 a month rent was kind of our max.
Yeah.
So this place on Gardner Avenue came upon. It had a grease trap. It had electrical. But once we started getting into it, everything was outdated.
Yeah.
Because all the new permits.
I'm telling
Sure.
you,
So we
you
had
open
to
up some
move, we
electrical,
had
and
to
they're
move
like,
the
oh,
grease trap to the
do
alleyway.
everything.
We had
Yeah.
to change the electricity. So we ended up tearing this place down.
Yeah.
I mean, gutting it.
Yeah.
So we even
I saw your photos on that's
so
cool.
even from the start
on
we're
your
like,
Facebook, the
yeah.
photos that you guys put out there. I mean, I look back at our photos in 2008 when we're fucking ripping out, you know, carpet and we're ripping out light fixtures, and you're just like, all you do is you have this dream to get the doors open,
Yeah.
and you're like, okay, well, we got to keep within budget, and we got to, you know, figure out how much are we going to spend for this piece of equipment, but that's a very important piece of equipment. Should we buy it used? Should we buy it new?
Yeah.
And you're like, fuck, I don't know, like, but all those things, they all add up.
Exactly.
And then you look at that original budget and you're like, holy fuck, what happened?
We exceeded that by
You're like,
far.
we exceeded that and we still don't even have a POS machine. Like, that's the most important fucking thing. And then, you know, and you're, well, what about the website? And what about this? And what
Yeah.
about that? And it
Marketing.
never stops.
It never stops.
It never stops. It still doesn't stop. And we're 10 years in, coming in April.
We're 61 years in. I got a $120,000 electrical remodel we're doing right now. So it's just like
Jesus.
it never fucking ends.
Yeah,
Like, no matter
yeah.
what, it's just like, really, we need more electricity because I want to build a bigger kitchen. To build a bigger kitchen, I have to trench underground to get the electricity ran in because my meter is going to go from a 400 to an 800.
Yeah.
And now I have to move this cooler to get a new cooler outside to put the hood in and everything. It's just like, before you knew it, I was like, oh, I want a kitchen. It's going to be like $50,000. Before I know it, it's like a $250,000 undertaking. It's like, man, I don't know what my ROI is going to be on that, but fuck, I think I'm fucked on that.
Yeah. You better talk to your tax man about that.
figure something out on that. Because, I mean, or I got to get some of you guys in here, some chef work, and fucking figure out how to make some bomb.
So when you guys were in culinary school, this is the thing that we like to talk about too is, you know, when I went to school, I studied sociology. I went to business class. I thought I wanted to study business, and I went to business class. I was like, fuck, this isn't business class. This isn't what I want to talk about. And then I go to sociology, and it's like, it's talking about people and how people act, how they behave, why they do what they do. And literally everything we do is, you know, where's there an event? We're involved. You know, how do we get involved? Why do people come together? And like, for me, I didn't learn how to run the restaurant in college. And I'm guessing you guys didn't learn how to successfully open up a restaurant, a storefront, when you were in culinary school. Is that right?
No way. That's true.
Yeah. I mean, they have classes, right? But those classes didn't teach you one fucking thing about, you know, hey, when you're out there, make sure you're getting TIs.
Well, that's the best part about this podcast is that it allows us to give the 101 on business that you don't fucking learn in a classroom.
Exactly.
You know, the things that people don't understand about.
You learn from fucking failing.
The TI money, getting free rent. I mean, did you guys get any free rent?
We dealt with the PB jackass.
Yeah.
John Noble.
Yeah.
He's known as the
I know
PB.
exactly John Noble.
Really?
So we got nothing.
Yeah. I mean, that's.
But it was a good location. We thought we didn't
How
realize.
old is he now? He's like.
He's old. He's like high 60s.
Yeah.
What is he, a broker?
No, he owns
real estate
property, man.
company.
Okay.
He owns
A lot of
property.
property.
He owns,
He owns all of PB pretty much.
that one up on top of the hill by Mount Soledad, that little station over there. There's like a Thai restaurant. And,
Is that what you were looking at?
I was for a second.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think it's 2,000 square feet and he wanted $8,000 a month. I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
We paid $4,000 for 400 square feet.
Yeah.
That's fucking nuts.
Right.
Yeah.
And he
That's
don't get
fucking
two
nuts.
shots.
He doesn't
doesn't
get
get
two
two
shits.
shots. You know?
What was your lease? How long?
It was 3 years. So
3
luckily,
years.
we got
out.
Bought out. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how long were the doors? Describe getting the doors open, because I mean that's one thing that until you've done it, you don't have. Because everyone that you know, they're all like, "Oh, that's so cool! You're opening a restaurant. You know, when's it going to be open?" You don't have a fucking clue when it's open.
don't.
No.
You can project when it's going to be
Permits
open, but
slow down.
until all those back permits come, until your health permit comes, you can't open those doors. So describe how that process went.
We signed a lease last July 19th, I believe.
July 19th last year.
And then luckily, my dad owns a construction company
Mm-hmm.
in Montana.
Okay.
So me and him did a lot of the work. So we worked till midnight. We got our place open in 4 months.
Okay.
Which is
That's extremely
very
fast.
fast. The place next door is doing half the work, and they're like 9 months. So it's like we opened. Having my dad here was a great,
Oh, yeah.
awesome, because we got open literally half the time.
Well, it's about determination too. I mean,
Yeah.
there's certain ways that I've seen people open restaurants, and I'm like, what the fuck? You got to open that restaurant.
Yeah,
like, what the
exactly.
fuck? Like, yeah, you're posting on Instagram, like, but you need to get the fucking doors open.
Yeah.
Ted was
Like-
saying the same
Ted was
shit.
low and slow.
Yeah, Ted was like, dude, fuck. I don't know, probably like another 6 months. He fucking took, but he had to.
He had
It's
to.
just what
He
happens.
also had a better deal with his with the property as well, which does help.
I think paying money for a good architect too is ideal. You know, our architect was absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
He pushed all our permits through extremely fast.
Had he worked in restaurants?
Oh
So,
yeah.
yeah. So as far as design and layout of the kitchen, like were you involved in the layout of the kitchen at all?
Honestly, my dad just took it over.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
The architect did nothing that he wanted, so we did all glass windows. The architect wanted all wood walls. We didn't want all wood walls. My dad said, no, we're doing all glass.
Yeah.
So how was it with the smoke down there? What smokers were you guys running? Tell me about your kitchen operation.
It was a SRG 400 Southern Pride. We used a captive air hood, so we had extremely good ventilation. Obviously, we paid most money for our hood because smoking's highly illegal. That's how a lot of barbecue places get in trouble, is from the smoking.
Right.
So we had a very expensive hood, and the SRG 400 also ventilated itself. Do you have anything to say about that?
No, that was a good smoker. I think with that Southern Pride smoker, a lot of people think that smoker is you put the meat in and you forget it. And
Nope.
It doesn't work that way.
No.
Right.
And it's like once we got everything inside the kitchen, we pretty much had like 3 days to pretty much until we opened.
Yeah.
So I was pretty much rushing through trying to learn this new smoker, the ins and outs of it. And like the first
Had you
week-
already set up agreements with your vendors? Like who was your food vendor?
Exactly. And which
We
changed
changed.
Oh,
Yeah.
you changed.
Right.
2 months.
They didn't
after.
teach you about that in culinary.
Right.
Don't get fucked over by multiple vendors. that
And
are
we
gonna come
went
and
through
rob you.
what for our meat. We went through
3 companies.
3.
And you
But-
really have to, because
You
you
have
have
to.
you have to figure out the hard way sometimes. But it's about relationships.
Exactly.
And if your salesman, if your people, your company is on it, and they want you to succeed, that's why we do so much work with Harvest Meat Company and U.S. Foods, because
Yeah.
they're here. I talk to them every day.
Mm-hmm.
We have a relationship that is
Shit
just
will
like,
go wrong.
It will.
Yeah.
I tell them
But
all the time, like, hey,
accountability
you got
on both
you got to
sides.
fix this, and they're like, we are on it, and they make sure that it gets fixed. And
It's like,
sometimes,
especially like with our ribs. It's like when we went through a certain meat company,
What meat
just
company?
go for it.
We went through Hamilton.
Hamilton
Yeah.
Meats.
Well, they need to get their shit together.
They
Let's
pretty much
tell them
promised
what
the
fuck's
fucking
going on.
world.
Sure.
Oh, we'll have this, and once we found like, the
Did they
partic-
find you or did you find them?
I think we found.
We used them at a Maya.
Yeah, we used them at Amaya,
Okay.
and then
So
we
you
just
had a
pretty
rep
much went there.
contact?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we went through them. He brought us samples. I was like, you know what? I want that rib.
Yeah.
He was like,
What
okay.
kind of rib? What kind of ribs?
It
are we
was
talking
hill
about?
meat.
Okay.
Pretty good
By
rib,
far
real
the best.
meaty. I was like, okay,
Spare?
It was a spare rib.
It's spare
yeah.
rib.
Yeah.
meaty rib. We'll go through that. So he hooked it up. I can have this for you guys whenever you want it. Like,
Of
okay.
course. Whenever you want it. Perfect size.
The second
perfect
week.
Price.
Literally the second week,
You got shorted.
we got shorted.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, just give me 2 more days. We'll have it in for you guys. Okay. The following week, hey, we no longer can have this particular product for you guys.
Jeez.
But I have this one for you.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck?
What they
Yeah.
try to sub it in for? Seaboard or
It just
I think it was
regular rib.
seaboard. It was seaboard. It was the shit
seaboard.
of the shit. It
Right.
was the type of rib in which you had to trim
Yeah.
Every-
around it just to.
Yeah.
It was
or
not
Farmer
good.
John. I know
Fabricated.
Farmer John are pretty
Far,
bad, too.
Farmer John was a substitute sometimes.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
It's horrible.
The dexterity on that whole piece of meat's horrible.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's
I mean, that-
butchered badly.
Yeah.
That's one of the toughest things is when you're first opening that you don't have the history behind you. You don't have, they don't know who you are. They don't know if you're going to pay your bills. They don't know what your plan is. And I mean, there were so many things that we had to do for food as well as for beer and wine and alcohol that, you know, they're like, we don't give a fuck about you. You're in Spring Valley, like whatever, you know.
Yeah.
So my general manager, Eric, he would drive up to Southern, he'd drive up to Young's, and he was breaking cases. He was filling his whole fucking Corolla full of booze because we couldn't get somebody to come down to deliver it to us because they're like, you're too small.
I was that guy.
Yeah, right.
No, you have to.
So you're down
Yeah.
in Restaurant Depot and you're fucking
Yeah,
going through your
yeah.
list and you're like, you know, you're getting calls.
And I'm
you know,
cussing, you
you're
know.
calling. You're like,
Right.
fuck. They don't have what we need. So now where? I go to the other Restaurant Depot, or you know.
Well, how
you're-
fucked up is it too that you guys are just starting out? You're starting to get these ribs. People might have loved the ribs, and
Yeah.
then now they're getting something different. They're like, man, you know, I really like them, but they're pretty inconsistent because it's an inconsistent product. It has
Exactly.
nothing to do with your recipe or how you're smoking it. It's just a different product.
Exactly. It
That-
cooks
that sucks.
differently.
Oh fuck!
I
yeah.
mean, what I would think will take 4.5 hours to cook 5 hours, this particular ribs is half that. I'm like, why is that? Well, there's no meat on it.
Yeah.
And so now it's like, well, we came here last week and the rib takes
Yeah.
this way.
and now they're
now it's
gnawing-
different.
and then now they're gnawing on bone,
Exactly.
and they're pissed at you.
Exactly.
Like you did something wrong. Like you trimmed it the
Exactly.
wrong way. you know?
Did they ever teach you about a prime vendor in culinary school?
Nope.
No.
They
Yeah.
didn't teach about any kind of vendor. But
So I mean, what restaurantowner.com, we've been subscribed to them literally since we opened the restaurant. It is one of the best resources that anybody can use. They have templates, they have articles, they have weekly profit tips. Literally, if you're opening a restaurant, they have checklists, things that you need to know before you open the restaurant, questions to ask a vendor. And like, I kept reading about a prime vendor. And I was like, what the fuck, you know, prime vendor? We have both US Foods and Cisco. And we'd have one guy give us a sheet and he'd be like, I can beat his sheet and I can beat his sheet. And then my kitchen manager looking at it, he would order from one person and then the other person. And then the next week he'd go to Restaurant Depot. And it was just all this wasted fucking time. And then once we established a prime vendor relationship where we told US Foods, this is what we want, and that they told us, this is what we can give you. This is us making money. And it's basically them picking up their skirt and saying, this is what's underneath. Lift up the hood. Let me show you what's underneath. You guys need to make money. We need to make money, but we need to guarantee that these items are always the fucking way that we want them.
Did they put you on a cost plus program?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Exactly.
usually what happens once you become a established place.
But the problem is you have to get to a certain volume.
Oh, I fucking get it.
In order to get
And
to
it's
the sales
fucked up.
rep or the district manager in order to get that deal done.
So creating that relationship with that vendor is like what you want to do. So they become vested in you. They want you to succeed. You're like, fuck. Like, just give me a cost plus so I know I know we're going to kill this. Just make sure we get this product all the time.
Yeah.
What else were you guys doing? You guys doing brisket? Were you guys doing...
brisket, pork butt, chicken
Yeah.
leg. We did the whole
Ribs,
chicken at first.
Whole chicken's half chicken.
But
Half
PB's
chicken's
very
so much
cheap.
easier.
PB's very cheap, and they just like the chicken leg.
We did turkey tails. We
Turkey
did turkey
tails.
leg.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you guys tried different stuff too,
different
right?
stuff just to bring some that people wasn't quite used to here in San Diego, especially
Sure.
with the turkey tails.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, no one knows about that.
And no one knows
no
about
one
it.
knows
No.
about those.
And pretty much when we had it on the menu,
They're a huge fail.
yeah, it just didn't take off. Like,
Yeah. You guys should have called me. I'd have been right there.
I mean, granted,
we were out in Kansas. We ate them all the time.
We didn't have the best quality of turkey tails. Like, I wish we had better turkey tail. They were mostly fatty.
If you guys are going to ever do it again, talk to Tarantino Meats.
we used Tarantino.
Did you
Yeah.
talk to Benny?
No.
So if you talk to Benny Tarabella
Okay.
and have him call Mary's, because Mary's does a turkey.
We used Mary's.
Did you?
It was a lot of fat.
Really?
Yeah.
That was all of that.
It was a lot.
And see, we were getting that through Hamilton's,
Really?
Yeah.
which actually came somewhat kind of frozen, and we were like, no, we don't want frozen, but they were like, this is the only way we can actually get it.
Right.
And so after a while, it was like, we can't really, because it was so like you have like a turkey tail about that big,
Right.
then you have one about that big.
Mhm.
So it's so inconsistent.
So
to
these
the point
turkey
where-
tails, is it like an appetizer? Or
It's like a buffalo
actual-
wing.
It's
Yeah.
a buffalo wing?
Yeah.
Okay. So
So
like
we're-
how many would you get in like a basket of them or what?
Yeah, you get pretty much a basket.
Yeah.
And so that was our play on the whole like chicken wing.
Right.
We didn't want to do chicken wing because everyone was doing chicken wings.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, let's do
Did you
turkey
did you have
tails.
deep fryers?
We
Yeah,
did.
You
well,
did?
just one.
Just
Yeah.
one?
So we're like, let's do turkey tails. That will be our twist on a chicken wing since everyone is doing. Let's just be different.
Sure.
And so went there, and you can do it buffalo style or barbecue sauce or just plain.
Did you guys make your own barbecue sauce?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
And our barbecue sauce was very, very
Yeah,
popular.
the barbecue
Nice.
sauce is pretty good.
Saw that. You had multiple different regions of
Yep.
barbecue sauce. That's cool. So you guys, you signed the lease in July, 4 months,
4 months.
open November.
No, because we didn't start the construction. Like, we got the lease together in July, but we didn't start the construction like August.
So when did you, August?
We were in the kitchen early January, but
January.
like he was in there with my dad. Like we changed a lot. Like he was in there, like he's like, no, I want the cupboard this way, I want the cupboard that way, I want
Yeah.
the fridge that way. Like he was in the kitchen saying where he wants stuff. He even wanted the cutting board like curved in. So my dad made like a custom cutting board curved in. Like it was a sweet little kitchen setup.
Mm-hmm.
So we spent like 2 weeks, 3 weeks doing the kitchen setup, like going back and forth where we want the fridges. We didn't really have a freezer, very small freezer. Nothing was ever frozen besides like the fries.
Yep.
So it's like but we spent about a week of testing. So we were open January 18th officially.
So January 18th, right in the slowest time.
We're in the slowest time.
Exactly.
We're in the slowest time.
So
And
for-
we found that out late.
Yeah, so for people that don't know, I mean, depending on where your restaurant's located, no matter where you are in the world, chances are it's going to be seasonal. And
Yeah.
Pacific Beach, it is the hottest spot to be in the summertime. And that's where tourists come, that's where all the college kids come. But in the wintertime, it's a completely different place.
Exactly.
So, adjusting for the seasonalities of your business and opening up at the slowest, I guess opening up in the slowest time actually probably helped because it could have been worse, I guess, if you
Yeah.
opened in the summer. You don't have time to work those kinks out.
And to be honest with you, I mean, when you're opening up a restaurant, it's I guess the thing was to actually compare last year to what you're going to do the following year.
Yeah.
So when we were there, everyone was sort of saying, this summer PB is going to be crazy. You guys going to kill it, blah, blah, blah. Summer came, and it was totally different from what they experienced
Sure.
last summer.
Yeah.
So this big, it's going to be crazy. You guys going to kill it. You have the perfect setup, blah, blah, blah. it wasn't really that busy in PB.
It wasn't
summer.
a huge change.
It wasn't a huge, like what they experienced last year. This year was totally different.
Yeah.
So I got a question for you guys. So with having only 16 seats?
Correct.
Were you guys
15?
15?
Yeah.
Were you guys wanting to do like more of like pick up and go
Exactly.
stuff? So not necessarily just sitting down.
We were catering too.
Oh, were you doing caterings?
How were you doing caterings when you guys had the shop? Because that's
so
one of the biggest challenges. It's the best way to add revenue for a restaurant is to do caterings because it's guaranteed book sales. It's not vending. Vending, leave yourself wide open to having waste, to having too much labor, to them telling you there's going to be 10,000 people and 1,000 people show up. But when you're running the restaurant, somebody's got to be at the fucking restaurant.
Exactly.
That's the thing. We would close down the doors.
So you would close the doors,
Yeah.
And I mean that's what you had. You're a 2-man show, right?
Two-man show. We had employees. It never just worked out.
So 7 days a week or 6?
7 days a week.
You guys were closed
because we're closed Mondays, but we're still there Mondays smoking the meats.
Well, yeah.
so
You don't have to tell us. We close on
7
Thanksgiving
days
and
a
Christmas, but somebody's coming in to smoke meats.
Yeah.
Brisket
we
is a
don't
headache.
close.
So that was like 7 in the morning until
10 at night.
9:30, 10 at night.
But the first month was midnight.
Yeah, the first
The
night
first
was
month
crazy.
midnight.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You
So
talking
it
about
was-
espresso shots like
Yep.
throughout
Custom
the day.
brisket. Oh, fucking custom brisket.
Yeah, it was
Right.
fucking
So
crazy.
when you guys talked earlier, you guys said you kind of wanted to come into the California barbecue and kind of do something, put a little twist on it.
Texas.
Texas style. That's what
Very
you guys,
southern Texas.
Okay.
Aaron Franklin is a huge idol of mine. I know he's, as I love Jermaine as
and,
well.
and hopefully his place is getting redone. and
rebuilt.
getting
Yeah.
rebuilt.
Built from the fire for sure.
See, that's the thing. Even with Franklin's, I remember like when he came out with his cooking book, and he was like the biggest shit. You
Yeah.
know, he still is the biggest shit. To some people. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna read his book. And I read it and the recipes and all that. And I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna try it. But no,
No.
don't do that. And if I can tell anyone, is if you're reading a cooking book by someone that you admire, you look up to, don't go recipe or ingredient for ingredient because half that is bullshit. It doesn't work out. My palate is completely different from his,
Totally.
and when I did it, I didn't like it.
Right.
And a friend of mine was pretty much, he told me, he was like, you need to do you and stop trying to be something. And right when he said that, I went back to pretty much how I actually cooked my food.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was completely different from what I was trying to actually accomplish by following so-and-so because he was the hottest shit at the time.
And
I
that's
don't take anything away from him.
No,
Sure,
for
you know,
sure.
he's
No, no,
big,
absolutely.
but it just didn't fit what we were trying to do.
Well,
Oh,
no, I mean,
that's-
we have mentors in barbecue, and we have people that we look up to, people that we aspire to. But at the end of the day, when Gene came in and he brought his recipes, he has such a high standard from being in the professional Kansas City Barbecue Society world. I mean, he's cooking for the turn-in. You're cooking for the cooking for the turn-in is different than cooking for your restaurant.
Can't do it.
because your
It's
restaurant
completely
is
different.
open. You're not turning into one turn-in time. So how do you keep the best quality throughout that entire process for the customer? Not only that, eventually when you get big enough, he isn't on the pit. So you're not on the pit. So when you're teaching that and you're creating a procedure for your pit master, for the next person, for the person that's running the pit crew, for the prep, you have to pass that knowledge on to them.
Well, you have to create something that's scalable.
Yes.
That you don't have to necessarily do it all the time, and it's easy for.
You mean you don't cut the fish every day? You don't
Fuck,
flip fish?
dude.
Like your flipping fish video?
Right? No, I still do all the fish, but
Barbecue's a tough skill, though. You can't just teach somebody how
No.
to smoke a meat.
No,
And
you-
that was our hardest part in PB, was we couldn't find someone that just had the touch. I mean,
Right.
yeah, they'll add our seasoning, but it just will not be the same as...
Well, you can't tell
real
someone, "Hey, pull it
barbecue.
off at 200," because it doesn't fucking matter.
It doesn't matter,
You have to
yeah.
feel it.
Exactly.
If you
Yeah.
feel your brisket, sometimes it's done at 200. Sometimes that's at perfect temp.
Exactly.
Sometimes it's 205. Sometimes
Yeah.
it's 190. I got some Akaushi briskets that we're doing. I mean, dude, I had to pull them off for like 180 sometimes because they're
Yeah.
fucking done. If I could let them go to 200, they are so overdone and dry. Like it's a feel.
That's
and
our
if
two-man
you're not
show.
and if you're
Yeah.
not passionate about that, and if you don't care, and you're just sitting there and like, oh, it's almost done. We got 3 hours. Oh, fuck 3 hours. It doesn't matter about 3 hours. You have to be able to feel that meat and make sure that it's done right. And sometimes different seasonings take different if they're smoked longer.
Exactly.
If you're putting something on and you're only thinking 3 hours, but you had to put 5 hours on it, it's going to taste a completely different way.
Exactly.
That extra 2 hours of smoke, it might even be rejecting the smoke, so it becomes bitter. You didn't even think about that, right?
Yep.
So now all of a sudden it's like, oh, I had this, but now why does it taste so different? Well, because you smoked it too long and now it's bitter, and your ingredients don't work well with a longer smoke.
And even with that Southern Pride, that's the thing with the Southern Pride. Most people throw their meat into that smoker and think that, okay, I'm gonna set the timer and that's it. No, because what I figured out about that is you have to, the wood that you put into that smoker, you have to let just soak in water for at least 2 or 3 hours. Because if you throw it in there dry, it's going to burn up within 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And you don't get no smoke on your meat.
And
I learned, and I learned it the hard way. It was like, oh, okay, I just thought, no, that fire, once that fire hits that chunk of wood, it is gone in 30 minutes.
What were you guys using?
Hickory and peach.
Yeah.
Which peach is very rare, which was I love using peach.
Yeah,
No, peach is a phenomenal.
Peach
you
is
can't
phenomenal.
fucking get it. You can't get enough of it.
Exactly.
You can't get cords of it, and when you do, it's expensive.
Exactly.
It's like $800 a cord.
Yep.
We did a hickory and peach mixed cord from Escondido.
Okay.
From actually Mike's Barbecues. His mom owned the farm.
Right.
They were absolutely amazing.
Really?
The best wood company ever.
Really?
Oh, they'd be on time. You'd call, leave a voicemail. They weren't there. They'd deliver the next day.
That's rad.
And it was very good price.
Yeah, so the peach we only did with, chicken and pork
And
and ribs. And then the hickory was just with the brisket.
Did you guys wrap your brisket?
Wrapped it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not smoking it.
Right.
We would wrap it in peach paper after.
Yeah, we wrapped the ribs, which a lot of people was so confused because they was like, your ribs doesn't have a bark on it. I'm used to so-and-so down the street, whether it was Iron Pig or Phil's Barbecue, and they had like this dark bark. And I was like, well, we wrap our ribs. Once you wrap it, it will steam just a little bit, and that bark will pretty much go away. But then you have like this real juicy rib.
Right.
And a lot of people thought that we were actually saucing our ribs, but it was just the fat from
Rendering out
from the ribs.
Sauce was always on the side too.
Yeah.
Sure.
And it was only a little 2-ounce ramekin. We believe you should never have sauce.
Right.
Yeah.
And our ribs were spare ribs, so a lot of people were used to baby backs.
Yeah.
We didn't believe in baby backs.
Right.
So spare ribs are a little bit chewier, so people would always, But to me,
No,
it's-
Sean does spare ribs and I do baby backs. I mean,
Yeah.
to be honest, the
Spare
reason I
ribs
do
are my
baby backs
favorite. Oh, yeah,
is
for
it's
sure.
fucking faster and easier. And
It
I,
is.
I can
Exactly.
push out more. I mean, that's
Yep.
I don't want to take the 5 hours to do it. I want to get the 2 hours, wrap it for one, and then finish it and char it up, and then I'm done. I mean, it's easier for us, and the consumer, again, because we had to play to your demographic, my consumer likes it a lot more.
Yeah.
So
And that's
figure it
pretty
out.
much what we got. A lot of people were, do you guys have baby back? We're like, no, we have spare ribs. Well, I think you guys should have baby back. You're like, well,
We were too
everyone is
stubborn.
doing baby backs
Yeah.
right now. It's like we're trying to do, our own little thing. And then once they taste the rib, they're, oh, okay, you guys do have good ribs. So it's like retraining people's minds of what they're not used to.
One of the hardest things to do is to realize that just because you can do it doesn't mean you should. And you're going to get a lot of feedback when you open up your business, and people are going to tell you, you should do beef ribs, why don't you do fish? Why don't you add, why don't you do collard greens? Why don't you do all the, like every single thing, no matter, and especially with barbecue, because you're coming from all different traditions, different backgrounds, different palates, and you have to make a conscious decision to stick true to with what you are and what you do best. And I mean, from our own experience, the more that we took off our menu, the better that we got as a
it was
restaurant,
all
for sure. Because we could focus, and you
What about
focus.
sides? I mean, I bet you guys made some fucking killer sides.
Yeah, our
Coming
green
from-
chili mac and cheese.
No, that
Mac
was
and
it?
cheese was pretty much everyone. I got so annoyed by it because
We would make it to order.
we'll
Okay.
make it to order and everyone wanted it.
Right.
To the point where the potato salad and the baked beans and the cream corn and the coleslaw was just sitting there
Right.
because everyone wanted mac and cheese.
Even our coleslaw, we had like an apple reduction. Like our baked beans had bourbon. Like every one of our sides were very, very fancy
Just to
barbecue
throw it
side.
out there, just say, hey, this is something different than what you experienced before. Try it. But that mac and cheese, everyone went.
They'd order gallons of it. They would-
Like,
Yeah.
really?
they
Mac
just
and
order the
cheese?
mac, no meat. They would just get the mac.
Just mac sometimes. I'm like, oh, wow. To know that you spent all this time smoking, whatever it is you're smoking, the brisket, the ribs, the chicken, and someone comes in and was like, I want like 4 quarts of mac and cheese.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Like, damn, well, shit, I should just open up a mac and cheese shop
Right.
and just kill it.
We think about that all the time. We have people that come in, they're just like, I want 2 gallons of wedding beans. Like, well, we don't have 2 gallons of wedding beans. We can order them as a side, or you can order them through catering. But it's like, well, I want 2 gallons of wedding beans. Like, well, if we ever figure out how to get 2 gallons of wedding beans out the door and just 1 pan of peach cobbler, then we're all set.
Exactly.
What do you guys think you learned? So when was the actual last day that you were both in there?
August
The
20th?
August 20th, yeah.
Barbecue festival or bet on
barbecue
barbecue.
festival.
So it's a
Yeah,
good
right
thing you weren't up
before.
until
Yeah.
That's why we didn't do it. Is because we were going through this.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you know.
When-
Honestly, like if we were somewhere else, I wish we would have been in a location that didn't focus. Like we were expensive.
Yeah.
You know, everything was all natural.
Yeah.
Everything was by the pound. So
Yep.
you didn't get a side with your meat. You know,
Mhm.
very, very Texas. You get white bread, pickled okra, sauce on side. We were expensive for PB. PB's cheap. PB wants to get drunk. PB wants to park. You know, there was no parking. There was no
Yep.
seating.
You have no parking. That's funny.
you
Because that's the
weren't
number
gonna-
one complaint we get on Yelp. And we have
Yes.
about 110 parking spots.
Yes. And you weren't going to pick up a hot chick at our place. You
Yeah.
know? So it's like,
There you go.
Alcohol was one of the biggest things. We had
Yeah.
people walk in and was like, do you guys have beer? Like, nope. And they would turn around.
Yeah.
And I'm like, really?
Yeah.
You would literally come here, find out that we don't have alcohol, and you would
turn
just turn around.
I used to be like that.
I mean,
yeah.
that's like,
There was
to
a
me,
time.
it's like, I can go, if the food is good, I would actually go somewhere, eat the food, and then just grab a beer somewhere or
Yeah.
go get drunk somewhere. But to actually say, oh, we came from Chula Vista and you guys don't have beer, so I'm just going to go next door.
Yeah, we got a lot of people from Oceanside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people came to us.
So what do you when was the day? August 20th was the last day that you guys were there. When did you both sit down and go, you know, this isn't going to work out. We need to figure out a way to get out of this deal.
I mean, summertime was kind of like our biggest.
That was your test.
That was our
That was
test.
our test.
Yeah.
I mean, we catered. Catering was fun. Like we did for like vegans. We
Uh-huh.
did we smoked a jackfruit and made imitation pulled pork.
Cool.
Like we had fun with catering. But we did no marketing. You know, marketing was expensive. So
Yeah.
it's like we were a small little shop.
So Mark, who was doing the Instagram,
Me.
Facebook? So you were.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, no one taught me how to do it either, and it was just essentially knowing that we had to do it. I mean, opening in 2008, we were, you know, 1 year after the iPhone came out, and you know, I actually made fun of my business partner Corey for having a Facebook account. I'm like, what are you, fucking 5? Like, what do you need? Like, what are you on Facebook for? And then I found out that you can market your business on Facebook, and I was like, okay, I'll start an account. And I started an account. It was like, if we didn't do that, you know, people wouldn't have found out about who we are. And now it's one of the number one things that we do is, you know, marketing ourselves. And, you know, for us, one of our biggest pieces of advice, you know, is to always be about your brand and be about even, you know, if you have a business, if you have a barbecue team, if you have a barbecue restaurant, a catering restaurant, you know, whatever that team name is, you know, be on social media, you know, be on LinkedIn, be on Instagram, be on Snapchat. And even like the only way, no one does it perfectly. You just have to do it. And like, once you do it, you figure out how to do it. And then, you know, I got lucky to the point where I could actually hire somebody like Corey who could help really, you know, grow what we've already built. But, you know, definitely every single person should be on Twitter. As your own person, but also as a company. Derek
Exactly.
loves Twitter.
I fucking hate it.
Oh, I hate Twitter.
Yeah, I don't like
Dude, I
Twitter.
can't do it. I can't do it.
You can
but-
do it.
No.
You
It's
can do
tough.
it.
And even
I
like the
can't,
first
and
week.
I probably fucking won't.
You can.
You
We
know,
had a lot of
I just
breakdowns.
don't- That ain't my gig, man.
You can do it.
Sean and I have a little bit of different views on the whole marketing side of things. I don't push too much, and I probably should push more sometimes. But Twitter, I just can't. I don't get it. I just don't get it, and I don't know if I have enough time to get it. So I think I'm okay. I'm okay with
And see, and I'm
that.
a food guy, so it was like, you know, just put me in the kitchen. Put me in the kitchen, my mind would go crazy, and I'd come up with something different.
He hated the glass windows.
I hate the glass windows.
Yeah.
I just hate it. I hate people staring into the. It's just no. It's like it's a kitchen. It's my little domain. I just want to be left alone to where I can create and be. If I want to say a fucking cuss word, I want to
Yeah.
be able to, without someone saying, "Oh, he said that," or "What the hell is going on in the kitchen?" I hated it. But to go back to marketing, that's what we figured out late.
Yeah.
Was here we are in PB. on Garnett, the busiest street in PB, and still majority of PB didn't even know we were there.
Yeah.
Had no clue we were there.
Yeah.
And we had people walk in, was like, when do you guys open? We're like, oh, January 18th. We had no idea. And this was like May. And it's like, wow, really, no one actually knew. So right then, that's when we knew we have to market.
Yeah.
And we
Because we thought
market.
just the traffic alone would just have people, and this big sign in red would just bring people in.
I mean, I think that was probably one of our biggest gifts, was that there was no we're in Spring Valley. I mean, unless you know where we are, unless we market and you figure out and someone brings you into, I mean, and it forced us to literally close down the street to make sure that the neighborhood, like, hey, why is the street closed? Oh, they're having a barbecue championship. Oh, what's going on there? Oh, there's a barbecue restaurant. Like, I mean, literally stopping traffic patterns in order to get people to notice who the hell we are. I mean, you got to do whatever you have to do.
Exactly.
And like, you know, that's one of the difficulties when you open in PB or you open in Gaslamp, is that you're like, hey, I'm already here. Like, but you're like, no matter where you are, you're like, you're in a mall, you're on Garnett, there's all those other fucking places that people can choose to go to eat.
Exactly.
So they have to choose you.
Yep.
Well, you don't have a huge. I mean, there's, I don't know, down in PB, it's not like there's a ton of homes there. People are kind of going there, like you said, they got to kind of come in and go out.
Exactly.
It's not like, you know, you're getting that foot traffic, so that's got to be kind of tough. At least here, our demographic. I mean, my next door neighbor is a house, you know, so we have people that are actually coming here, you know, to get their dinners and stuff, and they don't have to go too far. So I can see how tough that would be. And being new, you're not a destination location, so it's kind of hard. If you were to open up something, let's just say a Cali Comfort out in Spring Valley, and people already know you, and you're going, and then you want to go into a PB, they're like, oh shit, I don't have to go all the way out to Spring Valley, I can get it here. They might be a little bit better concept, but that's a rough one.
So the one thing about Twitter, and I'll leave it alone.
Oh my god!
When we were up at the podcast movement, Winnie's son, she put on a class, and the one thing she said about Twitter that made the most sense that I've ever heard was, if you want publicity for your business, the people that are on Twitter are the media. So all the media are on Twitter. So all the people that are going to write something about your restaurant, that's going to talk about you, that's going to put you on TV, that's going to feature you in a story. That way people come and they're like, oh, we got to go to Primitive Smoke.
I can see that. I can definitely see that aspect. And I don't think my consumer is necessarily on Twitter.
No, definitely not. But that's where relationships with media happen. And that's the reason why actually Jeff Dotseth was here and did the last podcast. That's why we're friends with Jim Trotter. I mean, all those things, they came and they cultivated, not just from one interaction. I mean, that's just where we happen to meet in that digital space, which is cool about podcasting, because now we're meeting people that are passionate about barbecue in all different walks of life all over the world. Mm-hmm. What kind of advice would you give to people that were in the same shoes as you guys, you know, sitting there in a kitchen being like, dude, we got to get this fucking restaurant open? What advice would you give to them?
I'll say be patient.
Yeah.
Because it's going to take time. And pretty much what we discussed earlier, learn your demographic, what area you actually really want to be in. And once you come down to that area in which you really want your restaurant to be in, stick to it. And I think what happened to us, we were such in a rush to actually get it open. Mm-hmm. We was like, shit, let's just go to PB. There's a spot. Right. Instead of sticking to the script.
Yeah.
And which was North Park.
Yeah, look,
because we would have got a liquor license in North Park.
Right. And you got
having beer kill us.
Andy Harris, who's just killing out there at Grand Old Barbecue.
Yeah.
Good friend of mine, and he comes in here almost every day now because he lives right up the street. But I mean, they're fucking killing it, man.
Yeah,
He's doing a bar, and he's doing another one, and it's that neighborhood. There's homes there. People are walking there.
And it's
People
up and coming. They're building in North Park right now.
South,
There's new apartments.
South Park's
condos.
gonna be big.
Exactly.
South Park's gonna be big.
And see, that's why we were actually wanting to go there, because when I was talking to Brandon, I was like, they're building in North Park.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're building new condos and apartments. It's on a rise. It's going to be the new little spot here in San Diego.
Yeah.
Let's just take advantage of it.
Did you guys talk to any of your people that in culinary school, any other restaurant owners, any other pit masters?
Really didn't at that time.
Yeah. So one of the things that we, highly encourage, and it's the thing that is probably one of the most difficult things to do, is to just ask for help.
Exactly.
To ask the things that you don't know. And if, there are so many times that I didn't ask and we got fucking sued, or we didn't, we lost money, we didn't get the right equipment because I didn't take the time to just slow down and go, who the fuck do I know? Contact one of your people, that you went to culinary school with, one of your professors, and say, hey, do you know anyone that is in business, that's actually in business right now? And you'd be like, it's amazing, because now that we do this podcast, now that we talk to more owners and operators and entrepreneurs, the more we like, people are just willing to share, because they don't want, it's not even about competition. It's about like, I don't want people to have to go through the shit that I went through.
Yeah,
Fuck,
exactly.
I already fucked it up,
But even with that being said, it's kind of hard, because I think, where did we go in Mission Valley? I think it was the Food and Beverage Administration.
Oh, yeah.
What's the one in Mission Valley?
Yeah, food and beverage.
So
San
we
Diego
went
Food
there,
and
and
Bev.
he pretty much said
Steve?
I think it was Steve.
Steve,
yeah.
He's pretty much said the exact same thing, and we were thinking like, who do we know that's going to really just
And that's
give us the info that we really need
just-
without saying, "Oh, fuck these guys."
You don't know.
You don't know.
And that's the craziest part, is like, he gave you that advice because he knows. I mean, he works with owners, operators, and it's like, there doesn't even need to be a connection. Literally, you could come into fucking the restaurant and be like, hey, we're thinking about opening up a restaurant. And you would be fucking blown away at how many owners would go, well, here, let me talk to you about this. Have you done this? Have you, restaurantowner.com, like $14 a month, like sign up for it. They're going to just give you all these resources, because at the end of the day, we're all stronger when we have stronger business owners.
That's true.
Yeah.
No, I think that's a great point. I mean, it's important. It's humbling sometimes, because you think you can do it all on your own, and you think, no, dude, mine's gonna be better than theirs anyways. So why the fuck am I gonna ask them? Or that, that's your mind thought, right? Because at least for me, I always think I'm gonna be the best at everything I do. So it's kind of hard to like go ask other people for advice. But we're fortunate that this is our platform, that if anyone is listening that does want to do something, we are 100% transparent.
Yes.
We will help anybody we can to grow, to learn, to do whatever. And look, we don't have it down. I don't have it by any means. I don't have it fucking all the way
Absolutely
down.
not.
For leases, for everything like that. I mean, me and Sean are going through shit right now with another place, and it's like, dude, I mean, this is what we do.
Mm-hmm.
It's what we do all the time. And if we can ever lend a hand in anything, if your next
Send us
venture,
an
whatever,
email.
yeah, just
tweet at
fucking-
us. Find us on Facebook.
Let us know.
It's pretty easy to find out where the fuck we are.
Barbecue's the hardest venture for sure.
Yeah.
Out of any other concept, I say barbecue's the hardest.
Yeah.
A lot of hours.
But it's also the most rewarding.
It is the most rewarding.
I mean, you guys.
When
you
someone
got-
bites that rib, and you can see their face like, ooh, they got it.
I remember one day I seen this guy. I mean, he was literally sucking on the bone of a rib, and you can say to me, "That's the best rib ever," verbally.
Right.
But the fact that I seen him sucking on his bone was more rewarding than you coming up to me,
No
giving me a
question
hug.
about it. No question about it.
He
man.
enjoyed that rib, and once he finished, he was like, "This is the best rib I ever had in my life."
Right.
And I'm watching him like literally suck on the bone with no meat on it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn.
and then you got
feels
that
good.
experience.
I
But
got that
take it a
experience.
step further, and then he goes online and writes a Yelp review with a photo saying, "This is the best fucking barbecue that I've ever had." It's a
Exactly.
5-star review. You're like, now it becomes SEO content for people to come to find barbecue in PB. So like, that's that ancillary exponential benefit that you get, in the world that we live in. I mean, this is the absolute best time to be in business for digital marketing. I mean, the amount of impact that we can have as a business when you put your photos on Instagram and you're like, fuck, that brisket looks incredible. You're seeing what people are smoking here in San Diego, here in Pacific Beach, actually all over the world.
Yep.
No, I mean, think about what we're doing too with like the videos and Facebook videos and stuff. We used to send out all of our ads every week, 2,000 ads to either they go in a Sunday paper, and who the fuck looks at a paper anymore anyways, right?
Not me.
But I'm sending out 2,000. Well, I'd fucking put a video up of me making sausage, and I've gotten 10,000 hits like within the first day. It's like
And that's not even a sponsored video. That's just
you
straight.
can't- you
That's
can't
not
even-
a targeted ad within the address where you can actually pinpoint those people around Garnett, or those people that have homes that live right up by Mount Soledad. Like, this is what we do. We offer catering, and then you're directly into their Facebook feed. You're like, oh shit, I've got that softball game coming up. I got to go pick up some barbecue and take it
And
take
that
it to the
happened a
guys.
couple of times.
Yeah.
Just off of Instagram, someone seen it and was like, "Hey, we have a family of 25 people coming. Can you guys cater it?"
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
One time someone asked to sit 30 people at our 12 seating restaurant. So luckily my dad was in town, so we actually built tables on the sidewalk. So we
There
had
you go.
30 people on our sidewalk. But yeah, it was pretty incredible. I just wish, we would have got a little bigger space or
Right.
been in a different area. I wish we would have stuck to North Park originally.
So
That's my honesty.
what is next? I mean, what's going on?
That's what we got to figure out. We're trying to take a step back and get ourselves back together. Be like, wow, what
Sure.
happened in PB? We thought it'd be like a great tourist, but PB doesn't care about food. Our food was.
They're going there for a cause.
Yeah, we had a lot of regulars, and
The-
they would be like, you guys and Grandall. They're like,
Right.
you
I
and
mean, if you're
Grandall,
going to
you and
PB
Grandall.
to drink or go to the beach, that's pretty much it. And if you so happen to find something that's good there, then and this isn't
Yeah.
the shit on PB. It's a nice place, but for a restaurant, it's going to be hard and difficult without a liquor license because that's why you're going to PB.
Sure.
You're going there to drink.
To
you're
drink.
going there to go to the beach.
Yeah. And
And if you find a gym there that sells good food, okay, but shit, are you going to shit on because they don't sell alcohol?
right.
Because that's what happened to us.
So
Yeah.
a lot of people go to Jack in the Box. They're like, fucking give me 2 tacos and that's it.
And what was
It's
so
cheap.
confusing? I remember we had this conversation, and I was trying to base our concept like on a typical taco shop. I'm like, when a person goes to a taco shop, you're going there for a taco.
Right.
You don't care about a fucking beer. I'm gonna give me a taco, a Californian burrito. It was like, if we can change the mind of some of these people here to view us like that, we can win. But for some reason, when it came to barbecue, people wanted beer.
Yeah.
And it
What-
just didn't cross over with, damn, how's this taco shop up the street winning with no alcohol, but we can't with just, barbecue? And
Yeah.
So
fucking
as far as
confusing.
Primitive Smoke go, all the Primitive Smoke digital assets, Instagram, Facebook,
That's still owned by me.
That's owned by you.
Yeah,
So the
correct.
brand is still owned by you.
Brand's still owned by
So
me.
that didn't transfer over to the property.
The name is. They still have our name on the building. It's their name now, but I own the Instagram and the Facebook.
So okay, so that's something that's very important for, especially whoever's listening to this. Like, nothing is more important that those properties are going to become more valuable than people have ever imagined when you're selling businesses and that content, because that's your brand, that's who you are. So when you go and let's say you guys decide to do catering right now, you're like, well, Primitive Smoke, we're doing catering.
Yeah.
Find us here, do this there, all that you've already created, that Valley Farm Market's created, that Cali Comfort, like that's ours and that's what we own. That's actually going to be more valuable than the physical assets that are in the property.
That's why I didn't give it to them. They wanted it, but I did not give it to
So
them.
Yeah, they wanted the recipes,
What did
everything.
They didn't get that.
They
didn't
got
get that.
They
nothing.
get no recipes.
No
they got,
recipes.
And they had restaurants before.
So the only reason they
people that
have
got
the
it?
name is
No.
because of
They're
the
just coming in
sign.
blind.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. We even took took everything. They wanted everything.
Are they California natives or are they?
I
don't
think so.
I don't know.
You don't.
don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, to be honest.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, once I found out
Have you guys
the
ate there?
recipes,
We
I
saw
was like,
Have you
we
guys
saw
gone there?
pictures, and I've had my regulars loved us. We had a lot of regulars, so they text me all the time. Still,
Right.
They're like, dude, man, the
Right.
barbecue's on.
Right.
Like they
that's
have
what,
chicken
that's what
nuggets.
hurts the worst
Right.
is the fact that
Our
why
regulars
did you
are
guys
pissed.
have to
Right.
They put
That
chicken
doesn't
nuggets
work.
on the menu, and that's nice.
Really?
Yeah.
Is there any way to get them to, if you purchased the sign or did something so that they changed the name?
I think they'll follow me and Jermaine more so than the Primitive Smoke. I think if we just put our, I think we'll just get a whole new name. We don't want to deal with
So where do people follow you?
either primitive_smoke_BBQ or at BHAYNIE 11.
And that's Instagram?
Instagram,
And
correct.
soon to be Twitter?
Soon to be Twitter. Soon to
And
be
how about
Twitter.
you?
You can follow me at thatchef619.
And that's Instagram? Okay.
Yeah, no Facebook, no Twitter right now.
Right
Maybe
now. Soon.
Maybe soon.
Maybe today.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe today.
Shit, man. We really wish you guys nothing but the best. And then again, your next thing you guys do, if you guys have any questions or want to run anything by, or if we can help in any way at all, please let us know. We'll do whatever we can to
Appreciate that.
to do it, to
yeah.
push it, to make
I mean,
sure.
Sean's obviously a huge idol of ours as well. He freaking owns the Chargers.
Idol. I don't know. I wish I owned the Chargers. They'd still be here in San Diego. But no, I appreciate that. And like I said, it's for us, for you guys to come here to have an interview about opening a business and having a business close. It takes balls, and you guys really step the fuck up. And this is the shit that that is why we started the podcast, is to make these relationships and let people know that when you are opening a business, I don't know it all. Derek doesn't know it all, but fuck, if you have a question, ask us, because, we want to see the growth of barbecue. When people come out of culinary school, we want them to go, oh fuck, let's go and open a place in San Diego because it's a hotbed for barbecue, not because
It's lacking.
the barbecue sucks.
Yeah.
It's
Exactly.
like, let's go and be part of the movement, the same way that craft beer does in San Diego. And for that, that shit's important to us. And all it takes is asking a question. I mean, and you guys coming in here and really telling us what the fuck, what happened.
Being vulnerable.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard.
Yeah.
So just having San Diego being ran by Phils, in my opinion, that was our biggest motivation.
Yeah.
Was being ran by Phils.
Yeah.
Phils is a disgrace to barbecue.
Yeah.
Well, he's might be a disgrace to barbecue, but he's an inspiration to a business
Inspiration
owner.
to business
Fuck.
owner, yes.
Dude.
And,
Oh my
and
God.
that's why
That's how you crush it.
That's how you
why I was
crush
saying, I
it.
was like,
Yeah.
one thing he's doing right is
Business.
business. So whatever he's doing it very, very.
Absolutely.
It's like shit.
Yeah, you don't have that many locations all in San
Exactly.
Diego and that many catering vehicles.
Exactly.
And,
He knows who's-
do
He
that
has the
much-
sugar. He has the sugar.
He knows his demographic, he's catering to, and he's winning right now. And I can't shit on that,
No, you can't.
because shit, that was
Absolutely.
my goal. But there's a niche in San Diego market that hasn't really been touched yet. So
So
hopefully,
what are the chances people can try your barbecue at Spring Valley?
Hopefully soon.
November 5th.
November 5th.
November 5th. Come out.
Let people meet you. Try some of the Q.
We're
Just a
that-
Sunday. You don't have the shop to worry about.
We're kind of thinking, me and him might butt heads
Possible?
again.
That's possible.
It's
Possible.
It's possible.
Good.
To us to go catering.
Good. I like that.
I mean,
Well,
We don't want to give up. People love us. We don't want to just not
Well,
ever have
I
us
mean,
again.
the problem is that you've worked so fucking hard in the kitchen. You've worked so hard in culinary school, and like you've got the taste of what it's like to own your own business and to have the rewards. And yes, it's fucking hard. And yes, you guys, you close. Like I lost a shitload of money, and I went through lawsuits. I'm going through lawsuits, and like that shit. That's not going to change. But like that's what fucking drives us every single day to get up and do what we love to do. And like. That's what makes you guys who you are. I mean, you wouldn't be fucking sitting here if you were just tail between the leg, oh, woe is me. Like, no, you guys have something to offer. People follow you. And in order to keep following you, what do you have to do? You got to figure out how do I, keep business moving forward. Because
Exactly.
you want to go work for another fucking
No.
not.
Grand
No.
Del Mar or another
Stay relevant.
Go
Yeah.
deal with some
No.
other fucking asshole telling you what to do.
And see, and that's what's so difficult about this situation right now, to know that you actually had something and it's gone, and you find yourself, do I really want to go back to this situation where I'm getting ready to work however many hours for someone that really doesn't give a fuck about me?
But when you work for yourself, all those hours don't matter.
It doesn't
Exactly.
You
matter.
don't count them.
You don't count
No,
it.
You don't
because
care
you're
about
grinding
sleep.
it out. No,
It's-
you're just
yeah.
grinding it out, and you're
Yeah.
doing what you have to do to keep your business open, to grow your business,
Exactly.
and do whatever you want to do.
Because I would do that. I would work 15, 16 hours a day for myself, then work 10, 14 hours for someone who gives two shits
Sure.
about me or anyone else in that kitchen. And I've done that.
And they don't pay chefs in San Diego worth
Yeah.
the shit.
Oh, no.
You, guys,
You can't. Well, you can't.
Yeah, you can't.
You can't. So
No.
Thank- you can thank California
it's like
for
anyone
that.
That's in, it's like anyone that's in culinary school right now. I mean, your whole goal right now is to learn as much as you can, and don't follow that bullshit little system of I'm gonna be a line cook and then a line cook to a sous chef and a sous chef to a chef de
I mean,
cuisine, learn as much as you can. Then try to open your own shit.
Learn from the best people
Learn
and
from the
do
best.
do the shittiest jobs.
Exactly.
If that means making no money and working for
Exactly.
somebody that
Exactly.
owns multiple restaurants that you can work right next to them, fucking go and do that.
Do it.
Go and do that.
And
'Cause you'll
try
learn
your
way
best
more.
to open up your own shit.
Yeah.
Because that's where you're going to be at
Most
your most
rewarding,
happiness.
yeah.
The most rewarding is to have your own shit and be able to control it.
Yeah.
Good.
Well, you guys, like I said, it's fucking fantastic. Derek and I appreciate
Yeah,
you
thanks for coming out, guys.
coming out here, and I
Appreciate
know our
it.
listeners will as well. Please tell your friends about the podcast. Have them write a review, subscribe. We appreciate it.
Reach out to me on Twitter.
Tweet at Derek. You can tweet at Derek, or if you want a response, you can tweet at me, and that's Sean P. Walchef. Thank you guys for listening. We really appreciate it, and thank you two gentlemen. Hopefully, we'll have some
And thank
exciting
you.
news so we can see them and try some of their barbecue out at Spring Valley Tailgate and Barbecue Festival on November 5th. We'll catch you guys next time.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.